Hey there, history buffs. Today, I'm diving into one of the most puzzled-over gaps in ancient history, the so-called lost years of Jesus Christ. You know the story. The Gospels introduce Jesus as a child, dazzling the teachers in the temple at age 12, and then nothing. For nearly 2 decades, Scripture goes silent, only for Jesus to reappear at around 30, ready to launch a ministry that would reshape the world. So, what happened in that silent stretch, between ages 12 and 30? If you ask the mainstream historians and biblical scholars, the answer is, well, not much that anyone wrote down. Most agree Jesus lived quietly in Nazareth. He likely learned carpentry from Joseph, grew up in a close-knit Jewish community, studied the Torah, and lived out those years in work, worship, and family. Luke sums it up in one understated line: Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and people. But a 20-year blank slate is catnip for speculation. Over the centuries, a whole genre of stories sprang up to fill in the missing details, some imaginative, some downright bizarre. Later non-biblical texts, like the infancy gospel of Thomas, painted a picture of a miracle-working boy Jesus, striking other children dead, or bending nature to his will for fun. Entertaining? Sure. Credible? Not so much. These writings were penned long after the events, and their wild stories don't match the thoughtful, compassionate Jesus we meet in the Gospels. Fast forward to the 19th and 20th centuries, and the myths get even wilder. Some claim Jesus traveled to India, Tibet, or Persia to study with mystics and gurus, blending Eastern philosophies with his teachings. The most famous of these came from Nicholas Notovich, a Russian traveler who, in 1894, said he found a Tibetan manuscript describing Jesus called Isa, studying Hinduism and Buddhism. Sounds intriguing, but there's a catch. The monastery said Notovich never visited, no manuscript turned up, and, when pressed, Notovich changed his story. Yet the legend took on a life of its own, repeated by mystics and New Age writers eager to see Jesus as a universal spiritual figure. Other stories had Jesus joining the Essenes, learning Egyptian magic, or even sailing to Britain with Joseph of Arimathea. Again, entertaining, again not supported by a shred of reliable evidence. The earliest and most trusted sources, Christian and non-Christian alike, are totally silent on any foreign travels or secret study trips. The Gospels, meanwhile, keep Jesus rooted in Jewish tradition, growing up in Galilee and fulfilling Hebrew prophecy, not globe-trotting like an ancient Indiana Jones. So what's really going on here? In reality, these travel tales tell us more about modern spiritual curiosity than about Jesus himself. The biblical silence isn't a bug, it's a feature. It highlights the quiet, humble side of Jesus' life, years of work, study, and spiritual preparation away from the spotlight. It's a reminder that history-shaping greatness can emerge from the most ordinary places, and that divine purpose often takes root in hidden, everyday moments. So, when I think about the lost years of Jesus, I see not a secret journey to distant lands but a story of faithfulness and growth in a small town. That's the Jesus history remembers, and that's the story that still matters most.